12 New York jurors have been selected to serve in former President Trump's so-called hush money trial. One, who was sworn in earlier this week, excused yesterday after it was revealed that he was once arrested for tearing down right-leaning political advertisements. President Biden taking a shot at Trump's legal battles while in Pennsylvania, joking that the 45th president is a little busy right now. Here's Trump's response. Watch.
The whole world is watching this New York scam. The whole thing is a mess, and you have the leading candidate and leading crooked Joe Biden by a lot. He's the one that should be in trial. He's a crook. You got a crooked president. He should be in trial with all the stuff he's done and his family. He should be in trial, but he's the one in charge. His top people are here, working with the DA's office to make sure everything goes right.
New Fox News polls show a tight 2024 race. Meanwhile, Trump is leading Biden in the battleground states of Georgia and Michigan. Both are locked in a tie in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Kaylee McGhee White, how do you see it?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting over the next several months, especially as Trump faces every single day in court in Manhattan. If you watch some of the or you read some of the reports out of the trial from this week where they were choosing some of these jury members, it is stunning to actually think that Trump is going to get a fair trial in Manhattan. One of the jurors who was ultimately dismissed before the judge admitted that it had been a close call had a previous social media post where she called Trump a racist, sexist narcissist and said that she would not believe a word out of his mouth, even if his tongue were notarized. And again, this is someone who was almost selected for the jury. The judge admitted that it had been a close call because apparently she apologized to the former president. This is insane stuff. And most of these other jurors who have been dismissed admitted openly that they don't like the president, not even just his policies. They don't like him personally. So how can we expect him to be given a fair trial?
Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
I think it's a sham trial. I think it's election interference. There is nobody else that would be brought up on these charges. I think it was a political vindictiveness to try to get him off the trail. I don't think it's going to work. I think America understands fairness, and they don't see this as an application of justice. I think there are so many Americans, I would venture to say the majority of Americans do not believe there is an equal application of justice. So they're going to keep doing this to Donald Trump. America will see how wrong it is, and it will move in his favor. But he should be able to be out on the campaign trail, and it's just so fundamentally wrong that he's not.
Yeah. Meanwhile, immigration and the border remains the major topic for voters in 2024. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas appeared before the Senate Homeland Security Committee yesterday, coming one day after Senate Democrats completely dismissed the impeachment trial even before it could begin. GOP lawmakers blaming Mayorkas for the death of Laken Riley while calling him out for never reading his impeachment articles and coming to the hearing unprepared. Watch this.
How many people have died from fentanyl in this country in the last 3 years? What would be your guess?
Senator, I don't want to guess.
How many of those have committed a crime? How many people that have you paroled have committed a crime? What percent would you say, or what range would you say are released?
I don't want to guess with whatever data.
How can you come to this hearing and not know these things?
Jose Ibarra, if we can. You know who that is.
I know what he's accused of doing.
Which is?
Murdering a young woman.
Now, we all know that the reason he was paroled into this country was because lack of detention capacity. This is your policies in action. He commits a crime against a child, and then he gets a work permit.
I am confident that justice will be vindicated in the criminal prosecution of the case.
Jason, how is it possible that Mayorkas shows up so unprepared and has no answers for any of this? I mean, people just watching it know the answers.
Oh, he knows the answers to these questions. Are you kidding me? He's a professional at testifying. That's what he's done. That's why he got promoted. That's, I believe, why he's in the role that he is. He's not there to give truth and interaction with those senators. I think when Chuck Schumer and the Democrats didn't allow that trial, that is so wrong for this country to do that. He was impeached. They have under advice and consent, he really should have gone through that trial. Nevertheless, you know what? They're going to continue to move forward with their open border policies, and America has to make a choice. If they're so offended by this, which I am, and I think most of Americans are, they have to make a change. They do that at the ballot box.
Kaylee.
Yeah, and, you know, the reason why Mayorkas doesn't bother to prepare, the reason why he doesn't bother to answer the questions with a straight face is because he just lies through his teeth. It's what he's done every single year ever since he was appointed to the DHS. That's all the Biden administration does when it comes to this issue. They lie to the American public repeatedly. And stories like Laken Riley's really hit the point home because it's impossible to ignore the facts here, which is that every single crime committed by an illegal immigrant is entirely preventable by not allowing them to cross the southern border, paroling them, refusing to detain them. And then in the case up in New York, where one of the illegal immigrants was actually given a work permit for illegally crossing the southern border. These are preventable crimes, and the American people look at a face like Laken Riley's and they know that.
Yeah, no, they're giving out a lot of work permits for sure. That is an issue that many people want more answers to. We'll take a break.